I don't really do reviews, being a critic, so I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet for Bad Company 2. It's on the PC, as you can probably tell from my incredibly loud one in the background, and I apologise in advance for my very squeaky chair, which will probably get on your nerves for the next 5 minutes. Single player. I'm just going to go ahead and say this to start with. The graphics are beautiful. We all know that. There, now that's over, we can move on. Some of the things I noticed are, although the levels are beautiful and realistically scaled, I can't help but feel they are rushed. It just makes me wonder what these levels could have been if they were given the attention they deserved. There are cases of floating objects, undergrowth in buildings, trees poking through rooftops, and terrible textures all over the place. Come on, DICE. These are schoolboy errors. We all know you can do better than this. You'll find some undergrowth, especially in the World War II mission, that just looks flat and seems to float above the ground. It may just be me, but it's annoying to run through in a pretty bad eyesore. Okay, so what about the difficulty? It's good, but it definitely lacks that extra hard level that some of the better players would find more of a challenge. I am by no means a top player, but I completed it for the first time on hard while dying only 5 times in the 5 hours it took me to complete it. All I'm guessing by a headshot is there was no warning or injury, just simply dropping dead. Which brings us to another bug. The death camera won't always fall to the floor. Sometimes it just floats on its side at head height. Story. I didn't play Bad Company 1 as I'm only a PC gamer, so bear with me while I try and guess the story of the last one and try and knit this all together. DICE really need to personalise the player relationship a little more. I went through hell with these 5 guys and really felt no sense of oh no's when the hippie and the hawk got sent whirling from the sky to his fiery yet rather beautiful death. I mean, it took me over half the game to realise you're actually playing this guy, and I only found that out thanks to this mission. One of the reasons it was so hard to work out, for example, is although it does hint that you are in the squad, at one point your character takes out an enemy soldier with the knife, the mission starts and you spawn way back from where your character was actually standing, leading me to believe I wasn't playing him. Maybe a short introduction to get people up to speed, and possibly the effect of a camera going into the back of your character's head would let the player feel he is a part of the team, not just along for the ride whenever Sergeant Grumpy decides he needs a hand. Not to mention the damn cutscenes every 3 seconds throughout the whole bloody campaign. I mean, surely, DICE, you can just control our character in first person for a few seconds like in Crisis, instead of seemingly trying to make some incredibly confusing 3-second feature film. Also, while I'm here, I'll mention that your squad mates are damn near useless. All the enemy fire comes directly to you, and your squad mates couldn't hit a barn door if they were stapled face first onto it. I understand DICE don't want to make the player feel your squad mates are having all the fun, but surely a simple system of all enemies respawn when killed, unless killed by the player, would fix this. DICE seem to have forgotten that the PC players are dropping into a story without being able to read the first half of the book here. You're gonna have to explain it to us if you want us to really take the campaign for what it was meant to be. Moving on, the fights are bloody great when they arrive, but are just too short. The whole campaign seems like one big magical mystery tour around the world, travelling from one arena of death to another. I never get a sense I'm in hostile territory. More that both sides are wandering around some beautiful fantasy land, occasionally running into each other for a bit of convenient fun. One major disappointment was just after the tank mission. Running into the city, I expected some long firefight and general slug out with the enemy, but it was just a case of a short firefight and move on to yet another big quiet patch of the game. A somewhat completely wasted opportunity, really. Multiplayer is actually good when you can get into a server that doesn't team stack. Okay, I don't agree that hardcore works well with Battlefield, but that's just a case of personal preference. The server browser is the worst I've ever seen. It takes an age to load, and when it does, the player counts are wildly inaccurate, and the filters barely work at all. Punkbuster kicks everyone from the server more often than it actually works, causing 98% of the servers to have Punkbuster turned off, resulting in cheaters far and wide. With plenty of game modes and more maps to come, it has more than the typical replay value of Battlefield though, and will keep you busy for hours at a time. The ranking system is something else though. I mean, the names are whack to start with, then they go up to Master Sergeant and all hell breaks loose. You get some Mickey Mouse warrant officer, then a chief warrant officer that is actually a lieutenant, then a second lieutenant who's actually a captain, then you get some Captain Bizarro first lieutenant, and it all gets even weirder from there. I'm not in the US Army, but I bet some people will screech when they see this. Like one of those tiny annoying things in the corner of your eye, jumping up and down, shouting, look what I'm doing. And then when you look, you get killed, ruining your 20 kill streak. There are some bugs here and there, but I expect they will be fixed in the upcoming patches, especially the MI-28's Havoc's cockpit of epic white blindness. Also, if I were you, I'd stay away from 32-man servers. They somehow make even the client lag and are just reported as a general nightmare by most people. I'd recommend 24-man until they fix a shocking all-round network performance. The voice over IP in this battlefield does actually seem to work, which is a good thing, as long as those chocolate milk kids don't turn up. So in short, the single player is a good try for DICE considering they're new to the whole single player scene, but the multiplayer would more than make up for it if the goddamn server browser worked, and the games didn't get so laggy. Should this be fixed, then it's easy to see how much of a great game this could really be. It's a great game, but it's far from perfect. But then who is, except her?